Okay. All right.
Low rat ruler.
I just went live with.
Are you seeing a screen like this when you're setting up OBS? Rat ruler.
Where am I looking?
Rat ruler.
I just went live with.
Are you seeing a screen like this when you're setting up OBS? You should be, the bottom left creates a scene, and you can add media to that scene, and then you press start on the right, or it's circled in black.
Okay, so I see the scene. Do I add the scene to the media source?
You add a media source to the scene. Or it's the sources, you press add, and you can do media source or image or whatever. Media source is best because it'll just accept anything. The sources, you press add, and you can do media source.
For some reason, it is like...
The source is best because it'll just accept anything. The sources, you press add.
Doing something very strange.
Bro, why are
now
you
it's
doing
not
that?
letting me...
The source is best because it'll accept anything.
Doing something very strange. It's the R card.
Ross is having a moment.
Are you guys not watching?
What?
The R card stream?
Oh, I'm watching.
I was trying to figure out what's going on with it. I can't tell if it's. I can't tell if there's something wrong with the stream or not. Actually.
Sorry. Sorry. Could you repeat that? R card.
It seems fine.
It seems. I think it's maybe fine. I'm not 100% sure. It's just I can't quite tell, but it's probably fine.
Tell there's a delay from like when you say it in Discord when you say it on stream. It's funny.
Oh, is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was on Twitch.
I just burped again.
Awesome.
Burped again.
I'll drop the link for you.
Okay, so now it looks like it's a black screen.
black.
So I think it's streaming. It's streaming whatever I had, but like there's nothing. If I double click on media source 2, it shows me the video, but if I'm just looking at the screen, it just keeps looping a black screen.
Man, our card. It's been nearly 40 minutes since we first set up the voice chat. We gotta get something on the right.
I'm still waiting for someone to get rid of that annoying fucking thing on my screen.
The SpongeBob GIF.
Sure, what?
Andy.
If you would like me to remove streamer XQC showcasting his SpongeBob, I will remove that image. I thought it was quite humorous, in fact.
I know you thought it was humorous. That's why you ignored my previous 5 attempts to get you to fucking get rid of it.
Oh wow.
5? If you asked me to get rid of it, it was probably when my Wi-Fi was dying, so I didn't hear it.
Thanks.
All right. Are the
Appreciate it.
cubes acceptable, or would you prefer me not to have any images there?
Oh, images are fine, just not really annoying ones like the last one.
Alright, so the cube is fine. Is the spinning cube?
Yeah, that's fine.
acceptable?
That's fine.
I like the cube. Yeah.
I like when the cubes spin, personally.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite part is when they spin.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's
Another
get this
great day for the immortal Aracardian Empire.
That's not what it's called, but that's whatever. I'll fix that later.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I think that's what it's called, right?
Oh no, that's
No,
not.
why shouldn't it?
It's actually called. It's
Yeah.
actually called the World Government Incorporated. But it's cool. I'll fix it eventually.
Like, does it have to be the server name, or why can't it just be like general?
Well, I mean, to be
your
fair,
empire, right?
I mean, I'm not denying the theoretical existence of an Autocardian empire, but I'm just saying that maybe that's not what I want my own bots to say about it. But that's just, that's a side point.
Okay,
I love rocks, guys.
understandable.
Oh yeah, so our card. Like, what happened in the chat today? I didn't even read over it.
Oh yeah, so
What even happened?
I mean, lots of stuff happened. At one point, I briefly was under the illusion that I had been wrong about the whole rape thing, but then I set myself straight. And
Oh wow.
let's see. Oh, and then also, I was trying to explain to people how, basically just the meaning of E equals MC squared in reality.
Isn't it the speed of light?
Well, that's one of
E
the
equals-
that's one of the things that relates to it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
E
what
equals
else does it mean?
So E equals MC
Well, C is the
basically
speed of
means that
speed of light, right?
What?
energy is equal
Let's take
to
turns
mass
explaining it.
times Are we doing alright, everyone?
I think
I love the funny monkey.
Funny monkey.
funny monkey is
Funny
funny monkey is borderline. I can barely deal with the funny monkey.
I think
Oh, it worked. I don't know what I did.
He's just a silly little guy.
yeah.
I have no idea how I have no idea how that's working right now.
NB, where did you go with the cubes? I missed the cubes.
Yeah, the cubes were pleasant.
My Wi-Fi is
Okay.
currently suffering. I like the monkey. That's a new development.
The monkey.
Are we talking about rock cells yet?
I'm not fond of the monkey. I do like the cubes. Nope, I'm gonna need
Yeah,
you to get
cubes
rid of.
is
Nope.
really nice.
Okay, 2 monkeys, definitely not. Oh, okay, you just moved it.
Acceptable monkey ratio.
Only one monkey. Okay, got it.
2 monkeys.
2 monkeys is too much monkey.
One monkey is acceptable. However,
2 monkey.
You know,
Obliterate.
what you could also do is you can disable someone's video for you personally.
If I could figure out how to do that, I would just do that instead of harassing you people about it. So
So you right click on an image on like
with
where, like, the
wait with
person's,
with
like,
right click with my thumb on my tablet.
It's
Oh,
not
then on your tablet, so then you just go to like where the list of like people in the voice chat is.
So I can press and hold on a square and it brings up the person, but then after that I don't know what to do.
So then you'll have the option like where it says like volume or mute, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't see a video.
It'll say disable video.
Oh god, I didn't see that. Maybe I'm just blind. Hold on.
Hold on.
So for me it doesn't say that. Oh wait, hold on. Video. Wait, no. That's just gonna... Fuck. Yeah, okay, that was not what...
You still there?
I left for a second because I'm technologically illiterate, but that's fine.
That's alright, man. That's alright. Well, let's get this show on the road.
where's Leonard?
Leonard? I don't know.
I love Leonard.
I love
Personally.
Leonard.
I love Leonard.
Talking to Leonard is an enjoyable experience.
Personally, I prefer to talk to Leonard.
Ricard, have you talked to Leonard?
It's very nice.
The skateboarding cat, too much motion for me, and I don't know how to block you on my end yet, so you're gonna have to go away.
Alright, we'll move on. Here's a picture of a large snail.
That's a little bit better.
Alright, we're moving in the right direction.
NB, what else do you have?
There's a
Large
mouse with
snail,
Arabic
man.
text, however, I don't speak Arabic, so I'm not sure what it says.
Uh-huh,
It might be a death threat. Or it could be wishing you a nice day.
It could be a pleasantry. Next one, NB. Let's see the rotation.
We could do a little judging.
There's a video of a cat falling.
Oh, that's so cute.
Aww.
I like that
Down,
one.
down.
What is that?
Large rat.
Monkey board video here, but that's a lot of motion. Because he's street balling for real.
Look at that. Oh.
This one is titled Goop Bin. I don't want to stream that.
Aw, why not?
I don't want to see the monkey fall over.
Monkey.
Did it happen again?
That cat's surviving.
None of y'all screams is being streamed,
Let's do
so...
the next one.
Oh man, I'm messing this up. I've now created 4 media sources of the same picture. I need to get better at this.
I love the funny monkey.
Yeah, but I need to add more than just a funny monkey. But, like, I don't know what I'm doing, so...
No.
I have music.
Okay,
Road number
so,
5 is a pretty good song.
our card, how do you feel about rock?
How do I feel about Rock?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
this is Mumble number 5.
I think he definitely didn't deserve to get hit in the face.
No. Rock, like,
That was a solid take.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What if-
Everybody in the car, so
what if-
come on, let's ride to
replace-
the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna be a buzz like I had last week. I must stay deep, cause talking cheap. I like Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. And as I continue, you know they're getting sweeter. So what can I do? I really bag you, my lord.
Not so funny now, is it?
Like a sport. And it's all good. Let me jump in, singing the trumpet. A little bit of Monica in my life. A little bit of Erica by my side.
We are all destroyed. Ooh, you gotta get in that YouTube chat.
LOL.
I think we're doing good today.
Kevin.
I think I'm in a good mood right now.
Kevin, what are you
But I
talking
can't-
about,
My
Kevin?
Wi-Fi is suffering.
Yeah. I can't help but notice that my throat is completely dry at this point, and I had to leave the room a few times. But I think I'm ready to get back on track, man.
Little Nas X.
So, Auricard,
That's quite the delay.
what did you want to talk about, Auricard?
Okay, but yeah, let's, yeah.
I kind of like the name Arucord for this community.
LOL.
that's a good idea.
I think it's creative.
That's funny.
I like the world government theme, though. I think it's a really good idea.
Who said that?
It's because there's one government and, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that?
I don't think
Rat
I-
ruler.
Oh, wow.
Or both.
God is a slur user. And a homophobe.
Alright. So, Ricardo, what do you want to talk about? Like, what's on your mind in regards to the stuff that happened today? Cause
What's on my mind? All the stupid shit people said to me in the chat today. That's what's on my mind.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, go on.
Like the rocks.
Among other things, yeah.
Yeah, but let's move.
What about the rocks was stupid?
Everything that was said to me, more or less. Except one person acknowledged the possibility that I could be right, but everything else was pretty dumb.
Wow.
So,
Who did?
position.
Huh. I do like to use debates, to sort of understand the other side as well as understand where they got it right, wrong. It's always good to approach in good faith.
I kind of want to hear Arucard's perspective here because he called everything dumb, and I kind of want to see where he's coming from because, I'm pretty sure the argument wasn't only that everything is alive or that rocks are alive, it's also that rocks have cells, which seems to contradict, everything I've been taught ever. So, please explain.
Let them in.
Yeah.
Arucard?
I'm just thinking
This could
about.
all be a bit,
I'm just thinking about the best place to begin.
Alright, yeah, take your time.
Take your time.
Well, I think it really is with E equals MC squared, actually.
What about it?
It illustrates the arbitrary nature of our distinction between living and non-living matter.
Really?
The fact that energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared, how does that connect to living things? That's just an equation for energy.
Just an equation for energy. It's an equation that proves that all matter is equivalent to a correlating mass of energy, aka matter is energy and energy is mass, the same way that steam is ice.
Well, rather that matter can be defined in relation to energy using the equation.
Steam and ice are
doesn't mean
both
they're the
steam
exact
and ice
same.
are both water.
Yeah, but they aren't necessarily the same because they're in different states.
I didn't say they were the same. I didn't say they were the same. I said they both share an identical quality called being water.
So let's take a typical algebraic equation. X equals 2y, right? X can be defined in reference to y. Y can be defined in reference to x, but they are not the same. They are two distinct variables. Likewise, with E equals mc squared, energy and matter can be defined in relation to each other, but they are not the same. They are distinct.
Each one by necessity is also the other.
X and 2y are the same, but x and y are not the same.
Speak English.
So if we go back to the algebraic equation I brought up earlier, sort of as a comparison, we have x is equal to 2y.
No.
X is indeed equal to 2y.
Sorry. We're not
But
using algebra. We're using English and philosophy. Go.
E equals mc squared is also an algebraic equation.
Yeah.
E is defined as mc squared. It is not defined as
It's a shorthand for a philosophical hypothesis about reality.
But
It's an algebraic shorthand of that.
It also demonstrates a relation between energy and matter, and I think the mathematical perspective is probably relevant there.
Yeah.
Because like Scuter is trying to say it's a relation between different concepts, it doesn't necessarily mean they're the same.
No,
I
already explained it quite simply. Everything that is alive because it contains energy. Energy is the essence that defines life.
I think that's a little different, right, from what we were talking about when it comes to energy and mass.
No, I don't think so.
Like, they're obviously related. Energy and life are related, and energy is defined as mc squared. But I don't think we've covered... I think we're jumping the goalpost here. We're covering the life part before we finish up with the E equals mc squared part.
Well, I mean, I know that's what you think, but I don't agree, obviously.
So, the thing that I'm kind of trying to understand here is, like, we can debate about matter and energy and the relation between those things, because there are quantum theories, right, that matter at a very baseline level is energy, even though we experience them differently on a higher level, like, practically.
It's
But,
not a theory, it's just logically true. If you believe in that,
Okay, so let's
if you
grant
believe that
that
E
and say
equals
that
mc
everything is
squared is
energy.
valid, then that's just true.
So let's grant that everything is energy. Where do we get to the point where we can say everything is living? Where's the equivalency? demonstrated
because
between those two concepts.
well, since we don't have anything we can point to as being a quote-unquote soul inside anything that we consider to be living, we don't actually have a logical reason to draw the distinctions that we do draw between quote-unquote life and quote-unquote non-life.
But I think we do.
No, it's an arbitrary distinction. We just think it isn't.
Well, I don't.
Okay, but like, do we have any real evidence that, you know, what we would typically define as non-life is possibly actually life, right? Like, where
Say
is
what?
that? Where is the evidence showing that, like, a rock?
Oh,
is
I'm
alive?
so glad you asked. So, there's no theoretical difference whatsoever between a computer that's as smart as a human and made of the same biochemical materials that a human is made of and a human. There's no difference.
A computer?
Yeah.
Being made of the same.
I think there's at least like a slight difference.
What's the
right?
difference?
I feel like a computer made of human materials is kind of a contradiction. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. If it's organic, it's not really a computer.
Wait, no, that's
Yeah.
that's not how the definition of a computer works. Sorry, you're wrong.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
hold
not
on.
really sure what
Can
the
you
point of
explain
that
to us
was then.
the definition? Hold on.
No, but like, is it like 99%? Oh yeah, it's all cells, and then like the brain is a chip or something. Like,
Hold
what are you
on.
talking
Wait. Bigly. So, Card, can you give us the definition for a computer then?
Honestly, I'm not sure how relevant it is to the
A machine,
Me neither.
a machine for which the purpose is calculating.
So then, how is that not contradicting?
What?
A calculator?
No. Ask your question more clearly,
Is
please.
that what you want to include?
Like, as NB said, a computer made of human flesh, which is organic, like, how is that not contradicting?
Your question is incoherent.
I guess you're right.
I think that the point we're trying to get to is you mentioned something about making a computer that is like made of human material and like equivalent to a human. In what way is that?
Wait, do you guys really not? Do you guys really not? Are you guys really not comprehending that, like, computers can be made out of biological materials? You guys don't believe in that?
Well, no, just want to hear like your explanation of it.
The conventional definition of a computer usually involves some like mechanical component, or at least is a
Like-
So
majority
wait.
mechanical
So what's the
component.
definition of mechanical?
It's no objective line. It's a linguistic distinction. We conventionally consider things that are mostly mechanical or
Yeah,
computers.
I'm drawing your attention to the blind spot in your worldview where these things actually extend much further than you think they do.
What do you mean? I think you're being kind of vague.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not. It's not as. It's not nearly as simple as saying. It's not a computer if you make it out of biological materials. That's absurd.
It's not nearly as. Can you please use more definitive language?
Of course I can.
Go ahead.
Ask a more specific question.
Okay. Yeah, so you said your definition before was a machine made for computing, right?
What was that? Yeah, that's the definition of what again?
Of computer?
No.
That's what you said.
A machine made for the purpose of calculating. That's my definition of a computer.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? Or did I say it slightly off?
Well, you said a machine for which the purpose is computing. You're not supposed to use a word in its own definition.
Oh, calculating, computing, they're wire. Okay. Yeah, so like, isn't a machine not different from a human, right? Or like biological functions, biological entities, right?
Sorry, what did you say?
Is a machine not different from an animal, right?
No, animals are, of course, animals are machines. What are you talking about?
What? Why? Why are animal machines?
They're machines that execute the functions of information intake and distribution and reproduction. They're machines. They're machines that have evolved and that were built for the purpose of reproducing and intaking information and relaying that information.
I can understand that.
Are you implying the existence of God when, like, before you said, "Oh yeah, there's no souls"? Right? Like, is that?
What? How do you get I'm implying the existence of God out of what I said?
You said that animals were built, right?
Yeah, that's how it works when you grow inside a womb. It's very much like being built. Yes.
I guess.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily being built more as
It's identical.
Growing. Like growing
Yeah.
and building are not
I would
the same.
say
Like,
growing, and because it's really cells multiplying,
like what is
develop
like,
and to form. It's not really building, so to say.
yeah, because like, would you say like every like is a flower a machine?
Of course it is.
Why?
Because it's a structure that executes a function. That's the definition of a machine.
I think there's more to that.
No, there isn't.
Just
There is
Like,
actually.
Prescriptivism gone off the rails.
like,
So I am curious. So we've established that things like humans and flowers are machines, at the very least, not full-on computer.
Yes,
So would a rock also count as a machine?
of course.
All right. So how so? How would it fit the definition?
Because
purpose?
it's a structure that executes a function.
What's the function?
Well, first of all, it exists.
But that's not really a function,
It's
is
not a
it?
function.
There's also internal movement inside rocks, such as their electrons within their atoms.
What purpose does
Okay,
that
that's
serve?
not a function.
No, you don't get to say that's not a function. You're objectively wrong.
No, but
Oh, no.
This is linguistics. It's not objective.
LOL.
like where do we find the functions? Like, where is the list of like? It's like on a computer we can.
Do you
see,
not
know,
understand the definition of a
a whole
function?
list of things.
Wait, a function is when something does something. Wait, do you understand that a function is when something has a quality or does a thing? Do you understand that that's the definition of a
I
function?
think you're the one who doesn't understand what function means.
Pretty sure I just
Here, let me
explained it
show
in
you the
exquisite
Oxford
detail.
Dictionary.
A function
definition of
function is when
Stop
something
using the
has a
Oxford
quality
Dictionary and use
or
fucking
does a
Urban
thing.
Dictionary. Literally, stop being so fucking.
I
don't
think we all
like
understand what a function is. I think it's just whether or not having or executing functions is a distinctive factor. That's the disagreement.
Excuse me?
Like,
It's not
is it-
what it is. Is that meaningful in any sense?
Well,
I think it's a
I've
purely
explained
linguistic
how
argument.
I have
It's kind of
explained
easy
how
to
I have
add.
explained what it is and what it means, and I will continue to do so.
I'm fine with going
Yeah,
with
like,
Arucard's
you know.
definition. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
fine with going with Arucard's definition of machines, computers, etc. For the sake of conversation, I think it's fine.
Yeah,
So
I think it's somewhat more reasonable than I thought originally because it's just a different way of viewing
It's
things, I guess. I don't think it's linguistically useful because I think there's value in distinguishing between like a chemical, organic being that executes functions and like a machine that is built by humans that turns mechanical energy into whatever functions we want to fulfill. I think there's a conventional distinction there. I don't think in any sense or like practical sense we would accept the definition where everything is a machine. I don't think that does us much good. But I think from a technical sense, like, you can argue that.
Hilarious.
It's just really, really picky linguistics.
That's hilarious.
Like, sort of, in a sophist way, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I mean, it's not none of this is objective by definition. These are all words created by humans to have meaning that we think is practical or useful in some way.
Oh, we're definitely discussing things that are either objectively true or not. So
I don't understand where you would arrive at that conclusion, because we're just discussing the meanings of words invented by humans.
All meaning is objective.
Exactly.
In what way is all meaning objective? We created the
in every way.
by humans. The concepts are created by humans. They're like the definition of subjectivity.
Every subjective concept, every subjective concept, in every subjective mind, objectively is whatever the fuck it is.
What does that mean? Subjectivity is objectivity? That's just nonsense.
Please, don't go. Subjectivity is objective.
No.
You're objectively dumb because I think
Subjectivity. Everything that's subjective only gets to be subjective to the extent at which subjectivity can be a thing, and then there's a greater objective context in which it resides.
So, Arcard, how do we objectively determine the meaning of a word?
We look at the concept beneath the word. That's how.
So how do we know what word refers to which concepts?
The words come from the concepts. That's how.
Yeah, but the words are created by humans to describe things in general, and what those words mean differ depending on who's
decide
making a
it.
claim about it.
We decide it, which is inherently somewhat arbitrary.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So we can get into very technical linguistic conversations, and there's no really clear path to what is objectively true. We're just arguing over whether this meaning of the word or another is more appropriate.
You're wrong about that. There is a real clear path, but it's just not perfectly clear. And since your standard seems to be perfection, I'm sure you'll never be satisfied. But the rest of us at least can try.
I'm seeing the opposite of perfection. I think that the way we have linguistics is inherently flawed, because we can describe.
You're right. Perfection is impossible.
In an infinite number of ways.
You're supposed to learn that perfection is impossible when you're much younger than however old you are now. But I guess you didn't.
I literally just said I'm not seeking perfection. I think linguistics is super messy, and I think it's fine like that, because we can't have it any other way.
It's good.
Arcard.
But no, I want to bring this up. All right. Arcard, have you heard of Ithquil? It's a constructed language made by a guy who a man named John Quixote.
Someone else wanted to ask me a question, I think.
I'm looking something up right now.
So,
Yeah.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think, just sitting back for a second, right? Just to take a step back. I think that in a debate, you get yourself upset to the point where you start getting aggressive and you start taking jabs at the person that you're talking to. And I think that is very much an unprofessional thing to do.
Have I done it to you? Have I done it to you?
I don't think you've interacted with Rat Ruler directly.
But
unless it was, condescension in the text.
I wasn't speaking to you.
But the
think
way
that's
that you
wonderful.
were talking to Envy, for example, you said, oh, you're supposed to learn much younger than however old you are now, that perfectionism isn't, just kind of that sort of thing. It
Yeah.
seems
I try
much-
my best to reciprocate slightly more nicely the energy that people give to me. Do you understand?
Your best
Yeah.
is shit.
But Envy was not attacking you personally the way that
Condescension is condescension.
Was I condescending?
Envy was not being condescending to you at all.
That remains to be seen.
Well, if I was, sorry. I was just trying to make a point about stuff. I usually think I'm pretty monotone. I'm not sure how that's conveyed, but I don't mean to attack your character anyway.
Tone is
I
not
just mean to
not the only way to condescend, but your tone, I assure you, it contains plenty of condescension.
I don't think that that's very necessarily true, because Envy, I've had a long and personal connection with Envy, and throughout the time that I have known this person, not once has his tone ever differed from the monotone way that he speaks.
But you do understand that your experience doesn't get to translate into mine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to be fair, I
So
like
the
your
guy who
opinions.
thinks words
mostly.
always mean the same thing, no matter the context.
But what I am saying is that Envy's voice doesn't change. His tone doesn't change. He speaks the same way.
Everyone's
So he wasn't-
voice changes no matter how much self-control they have. It's very subtle.
Yeah,
Yes, you're
I do try to be polite, but most people get heated. Everyone gets heated. That's a thing that happens. So,
Besides me.
or speak up, which can be interpreted as being condescending.
Even
I
you,
guess.
you're just
That's
not even
funny.
you.
Either way, it doesn't really
even
matter.
you.
This is a Discord debate. We can be as trashy as we want.
I would prefer to engage in good faith and be kind to each other.
Yeah.
I
I won't lie, but
it's important to remain in good faith, I think.
Of course.
My
I
point
think
is,
it's most
I'm the most good faith person here. I promise.
Lies.
I can-
I think I'm the most good faith person here, actually.
Oh well,
I
you're
know,
wrong.
I'm pretty good
Paige is
faith.
did nothing wrong, and Paige is
I think I'm really
ontologically
good.
good.
That's true.
Anyone here who
How
thinks
I
they're
wake
more
up
good faith
knowing
than me
Paige
is wrong.
ontologically good and can do no wrong.
I think I'm the most good faith person here, and if you disagree with me, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're just wrong, and I'm right. So it's really that simple.
Real.
I
Yawn.
think we
Yes,
should get
English
back. I think we should get back to the original topic of debate.
I
All
agree.
right.
The cells. Well, it's all just. Well, there's two parts to it, which is energy, right? And then there's the cell argument. Both of those are just linguistics bundled together. I mean, that's the defense of it, right?
Okay.
I feel like we just end up to that spot again.
Yeah. Since that's
Well-
since that's the best you can do, yeah, it seems like you probably have nothing further to contribute.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm making.
Now that's
what I
another
said?
example of saying something that's just necessarily mean.
No. It's a necessary defense. No, you don't. I'm sorry, but you simply don't understand. It's a necessary defense against extreme condescension.
Well, no, see, that's the problem, is you come off as condescending because you tell people that they're wrong all the time.
Well, if I'm the one that's if I happen to be
No,
correct,
he's not wrong. He
That was
tells
just an
people that they're
observation
wrong,
about
and
how
then
I
they
think
just
the
shut
debate
fuck
is
up
going.
because they'll never
Yeah,
be right.
Envy was making an observation, and you said you have nothing important to contribute.
Just as a brief overview, I feel like both sides of this just condensed down to linguistics. I think that basically covers everything.
yeah. So
I
the
don't
word
know if you have
saying
another argument
saying
that
that
isn't
it's
just
just
this is the meaning of a
all right,
word.
saying
then
that
please
it's just
contribute.
saying that it's just linguistics is absolutely meaningless, and it's a trash and worthless conclusion from this conversation.
Why are you mad?
How?
It always makes me angry when conversations are fruitless.
So then
So-
why
you can see that we are not attempting to make you angry. We are simply trying to
No,
talk
you.
about
No,
a
wait,
point.
you
Like,
wait,
we
wait.
don't mean to
Hold
make
on,
you angry.
hold on. You personally, mostly, I believe that about. The rest of them, nah, fuck them.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I'll pick my wins where I can get them, guys.
Actually, I need to understand. I'm looking to understand your position.
Yeah, I'm confused if it's not just an argument about, like, well, everything is cells because cells are defined in this certain way. If it's not just a matter of definitions, like, what sort of argument are you making?
So, wait, sorry, repeat your question.
Like, let's talk about the rocks have cells part. I think if we don't agree on, like, an overview of everything, of the entire conversation, we should focus on one bit. That makes the most sense to me. So, if it's not just an argument about how, like, rocks have cells because you define cells in a certain way, like, what else, what is your point there, if not that?
Your question makes no sense to me.
Well, because you disagree with my observation that I think it's a matter of linguistics, like, we disagree on the meaning of the word cell, and that's the issue. If it's something that's not that,
No. You wait,
please
but
explain to me, like, where this
no.
comes from.
No. We disagree about the concept of what it objectively means to be a cell or not. The definition of the word is secondary to that.
So you think there's an objective concept that exists independent of our language that is what defines a cell, is what you're trying to say. Am I right in assuming that?
Yes. And I actually think there are several different objective concepts that could theoretically define a cell, which is why we have like a couple different words like cell and atom, for example. So it's not like a perfect thing because nothing's perfect, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So we have.
Wait, can I?
Sorry, what?
I think that Bigley is asking, like, do you draw like an equivalency between cells and atoms? I'm not sure.
I think that it's basically the same word, but it's just it's kind of like how we just keep needing to make up words for things as we go along and we discover new things about things. Like, atoms are made of things too, and we made up words to describe those things, but like, we originally envisioned atom as a word, the purpose of which was to define like the smallest unit of thing, and before that was the point of the word cell. It goes way back.
All right. So, correct me if I'm wrong at any point, because I don't want to misrepresent you, but you did mention that there are several concepts which could be referred to as cells, which is why we have like different meanings for the word, or we might, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, so if that's the case, and there are many concepts which could be called a cell, and the meaning of the cell is objective, there's an objective concept that is a cell.
No. There's several objective concepts. Technically, there's one objective concept, but it's a spectrum. So a cell could theoretically be as small or as large as you want it to be.
Okay, so if there's an objective thing called a cell, how do we determine that? Because presumably if it's objective, there's like some way to prove it, right?
A cell. So my objective definition of a cell would be a discrete unit.
The objective definition, I assume.
Yes,
you mean.
Right. The objective definition, from my view, would be
not from your view. You mean like objectively.
Yes.
So
in my view, the objective definition is a discrete unit.
And is it possible to disagree with your view and be valid in that disagreement?
It's possible to be valid in the act of disagreeing or questioning, but I do think that the opposing view would be incorrect, although I would be willing to think of something that would disprove my theory.
Okay. Wait.
hold on.
I want to follow through with this just 1 second. So if it's possible to disagree with you, to clarify, you're saying it's possible for me to say, I think the word cell better represents this, or this is a concept which would be better, more appropriately called a cell, and you think it would be valid to have that disagreement, as in, I'm not just flat out factually wrong, it's a valid thing that I could say or apply this word to. Am I correct in assuming that?
I didn't completely hear the whole question you just asked me because I was kind of distracted about how you keep cutting off that other person, but probably, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure how you would call that objective then, if I can have a valid disagreement about the application of a term referring to a concept. So...
I told you, I believe that it's objective. That's not the same as proving that it's objective.
But you said that in your view it is...
What?
So you said that in your view it is objective.
Right.
But so if it can't be proved, then how...
No, I can prove it logically, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't think it's objective.
You can logically prove that the definition should be used in a certain way.
I can logically prove that my definition is the objective definition, the one that perfectly includes everything that a cell should be and perfectly excludes everything that a cell should not be. I'm sorry, what?
You also said, though, that it's logical for someone... or that it's valid for someone to disagree with your objective.
Precisely.
It's valid for them to. It's valid for them to. Sorry, what?
You can't something objective like 2 + 2 = 4, right? If someone said no, 2 + 2 = 3.
2 + 2. 2 + 2 usually equals 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that would involve impossible operations like dividing by 0.
No.
Like, you would have to find
1 + 1. 1 + 1 often equals 3.
Okay, so
But you see what I mean? Or saying something like, the heart pumps blood in a human's body.
Okay.
Right? If we said that, and someone else said, no, no, the lungs pump blood, right? That would be objectively false because we can prove.
No. It's not objectively false. It's just not the whole story, but it does have an element of truth to it. It's not the heart alone pumping the blood. It doesn't even truly pump it.
But the lungs don't.
Lungs don't.
No, but wait.
A bad example to demonstrate.
Hold on, everyone.
Wait.
Hold on. One at a time.
The lungs are a necessary element of that system, actually.
Well, yes, for oxygen, but I mean.
And importantly, another observation here to show that this is objective, I think, is that one, there's no valid disagreement against that. It's not like I can argue something, we can observe this thing. And secondly, I think the fact that we can see this process happening and have concrete proof of this thing occurring in nature is a pretty solid argument for that being an objective thing. I don't think we have the same thing when we're talking about the meanings of words and concepts.
What are you rambling about? What are you rambling about?
We don't have concrete proof.
We don't have concrete proof for what?
For
the meanings of words and concepts.
Because words definitions.
We could add that to the list of everything else, literally, that exists that we also don't have concrete proof for.
Which are theories.
What's your point?
So what I'm saying is that it cannot be objective.
No. That's not how things work.
But it is.
No, it's not. No, it's actually not. just because there's always a chance that you're stupidly misunderstanding something, you meaning me, does not.
This is another point of
you meaning me.
The individual.
You meaning
is
me.
Saying,
just because there's a chance that I could always be stupidly misunderstanding something instead of what I believe being true, doesn't mean that the things I believe aren't objectively true. That's not how anything works.
But that's not the meaning of the word objective.
Excuse you?
But, so the meaning of the word objective is that it cannot be...
What?
The meaning of the word objective is that it is proven true and it cannot be proven.
No, that's not what the meaning of the word objective is. The meaning
What
of
is the meaning of objective?
The meaning of the word objective.
I believe that it is, actually.
No.
Check the Oxford.
No. The meaning...
Hear 'em out. No definition.
The meaning of the word... The meaning of the word objective is that something is true, in fact. Period. That's the only definition of it.
No. So the...
What does it mean?
Definition...
It does not mean that you proved something. It means that something is actually true.
Can you define true then? Because this just seems like definitions all the way down. What does it mean to be objectively true then? What is truth in your sense of the word?
Truth is that you exist. That's the one thing we know is true.
So, that wildly...
So, the definition of the word objective, in the context of what we are speaking about, is not dependent on the mind for existence, actual. So, if it relies on the mind, as in a theory, or on, there's a word that I'm looking for, it's slipped my mind.
All
Concept,
theories,
maybe?
all theories,
Concept.
all theories and all concepts in human brains are mere descriptions of objective phenomena.
Are the concepts
That's
themselves
actually
objective?
true,
That's
but the
true.
reason is those descriptions are subjective.
But those
They're
are
subjective
No,
descriptions.
those descriptions are impressions made by objective things.
Yeah,
The important part of
theories.
the important takeaway there is that the things themselves are what they are.
Man, I'm just dying for some Mambo number 5 right
However,
now.
it is
Yeah.
very easy to get the way that it, like, I can't. I'm sorry. Let me give you like another example, right? Like, in ancient Greece, and in just like the old world, they thought that the Earth was the center of the universe, that the sun and the moon revolved around the Earth. And it has been because of the way that the sun and the moon rose and set, which is an objective thing. The sun and the moon moves throughout the sky, throughout time. Like, that is an objective fact. But the way that they got to that conclusion was wrong, because as we know now, the Earth, or the universe, is heliocentric. So we revolve around the Earth. Or the sun, sorry. We revolve around the sun.
So what's your question?
So what I'm saying is that both of the, like, it's both based on objective things that exist in reality and that can be proved, which is
No. You're still conflating human observations of events with the objective events themselves.
I would argue that because humans are...
forms on Earth that can discern whether the Earth revolves around the fucking sun. How else are we supposed to know?
I actually like Rat Ruler's example of the art of the heart and lungs, I think that's a really good point made about like how we generally get to an idea of objectivity. So like with physical things, if we want to describe a physical process, we can observe it, we can say this is what happens, and we're done. When it comes to defining what a concept or an idea or a word is best suited to a certain concept.
Stop. There aren't things that aren't physical. Next.
There are.
No, there aren't.
Can we calm down a little bit, please? Can we just?
You're just being dumb.
I'll be as passionate. I'll be however passionate I choose to be. I will be however passionate I choose to be. I promise.
Yeah, but the more passionate you are, the more illogical you are in your arguments.
No.
Roasted.
No?
Yes,
Okay.
because that is just a fact. When people get more emotional, they tend to be less logical.
Except in my case, it's almost always the case that I'm just becoming more emotional because it's necessary in order to amplify my message to a bunch of fools that otherwise don't want to listen to it.
Now this is another example
what is the point of calling us?
Now this is another example of you just attacking the individual, calling us fools when we are trying to debate you. It seems as if you are not in good faith, but you have said that you are the person who is most in good faith. However, you keep insulting us.
Oh,
so I would like you
to be fair, you have. To be fair,
Are you speaking? Do not interrupt.
Hold on. Right Ruler is...
Do not interrupt.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm now muting you. Anyone else want to get muted?
Take a deep breath, Ricardo.
All right. So, I think the last claim was everything is physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about words and concepts. What's the physical location of these? I'm really confused about how we get to this conclusion, because those seem to not really... That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. There's no other way to put it. How do you get to the conclusion that words and concepts are physical and observable?
They're made of electricity, aren't they? Hello? They're made of electricity, they're made of energy.
Well, those are thoughts, not concepts or abstract ideas. Those are shared between humans and don't have a location. I'm really confused about how you conclude
to
that
the extent that you're talking about concepts in people's minds, that's electricity, and to the extent you're talking about a concept as it objectively is, that's just an object.
I'm talking about concepts, words, ideas, things that are shared by humans, that thoughts, we think about concepts. Those thoughts are electricity signals. Concepts
that humans are privy to that don't map onto direct physical objects per se are purely exist as the electrical signals in people's minds.
So you're defining a concept as just like a collection of signals in every human's mind, and therefore it's physical?
Only concepts that are made up by humans and don't map onto physical objects outside of human bodies.
Literally all concepts are made up by humans.
That's why I said they're all electrical signals in the minds of people.
Yeah. There's no like discernible location of a concept. It's just everywhere where that is thought or written down or anything, which leads me to the question that even if we grant that all things are physical, including concepts, and we just consider the physical being of a concept just this collection of thoughts and writing, how does that help us in like getting an objective definition for a concept? How do we take those physical things, those collections of thoughts and electrical signals, and we use this to develop an idea or observation of an objective thing?
Sorry, you used like a retarded amount of words there. Ask your question in a more intelligent way, please.
That he's good faith and proceeds to call someone retarded.
Could you maybe refrain from using slurs, please?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I will to the extent that I feel like it.
If you can't follow the explanation, I'll put it simply. Even if we grant that all concepts map to like a collection of physical things, how does that help us observe an objective thing and call something objective?
Repeat your question again.
How does the fact that concepts are a collection of physical things, how do we take that information and use this to come to the conclusion that, like, we can observe an objective process or, like, an objective phenomenon and call it objective? How do we do that?
Your question is totally incoherent.
I don't understand how I can put this in any other way.
The question is perfectly coherent. I understand
Your
the
statements are incoherent, so...
Okay.
Maybe Bigley can make it.
It's totally incoherent.
Yeah. All right, Bigley can try again because everyone but you understands what I'm trying to say. Bigley?
Oh, well, they must share the same. They must share your stupidity.
Good faith, go burn.
Yep. Good faith is being 100% earnest and honest.
That
Okay.
is
Anyways,
very narrow.
interesting. Anyways,
Well, it is part of it anyway.
You could say it's a replica, right? Or like some derivative that
right,
comes from
that would, make,
yeah.
that would make sense, calling it a replica.
What are you talking about?
A documentation,
This is
maybe.
an aside. This isn't really relevant to the overall point. It's just like, how do we conceptualize concepts as physical things? If we want to do that for some reason.
Your question makes no sense to me.
This isn't a question. This is just a back and forth between Bigley and I over concepts and physical things. So,
Okay. You're still making an incoherent question, but okay.
okay. I don't know how we be more coherent. So, we're given the fact that like concepts as physical things are like a series of electrical signals that exist in some number of brains, and we call that a concept. So like the reason why we're talking about physical things in the first place, Game, is because like with the heart and the lungs we observe a process, we call it objective. Now, even if we can show that concepts are like physical things, how do we observe them in a way that we can get to a conclusion of what they objectively mean?
It's a very simple question.
That's a retarded question.
I cannot formulate this more simply.
It's a meaningless question. I don't even know what you're trying to ask me.
This is like the center of your argument.
Yeah, you're
objectivity.
abusing the fuck out of these words as you ask this question. That's why I don't understand it.
Can you show me in what way I'm abusing them?
Yeah, if we break down your question into small enough parts, yes, I will be able to explain it to you in excruciating detail. I promise.
Can you do that for us?
How do I break it down further? I'm saying, given this, how do we get to here?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, this is like a very small component question. Given that everything is physical, including concepts, how do we like use the physicality of concepts to like get to an objective conclusion about them? How do we objectively observe a concept and prove that that concept is objective?
I didn't say you prove it.
Okay.
How do we demonstrate that's true? I don't know what terminology
You don't
wanna
prove
use.
it. You
How
don't.
do we
Oh,
observe a
I'm
concept?
sorry. You do prove it. You prove it using logic, because logic is the only evidence you can use to prove things in an objective way.
So, what's the logical process for proving whether a concept or a word is true?
That's a great. I've never explained it before, so that's a great question. Let me think.
Please do, because this is not making much sense to me. I mean,
I have empathy for that.
it's not that I don't understand your argument, I just don't see how it makes like how someone would believe this.
Oh, well, of course you don't
To be
understand.
clear.
You obviously don't understand my argument if you don't understand how I believe it. So,
Well, I don't.
Yeah,
You
that's
just said you've never explained it before, so please do explain it, because I think you're the only person who believes this and thinks that.
oh, I'm
That
definitely,
is the way
I'm
things
definitely,
operate. So.
I have enough faith in humanity to believe I'm not the only person that believes what I believe. But
I think you are.
oh well, thanks. I appreciate the vote of confidence. But I don't think I'm
No, I
quite
think you
that.
are the only person who believes that stuff, because I think most people were taught by the American education system, and as much as people like to shit on it, I think it does a pretty good job as far as not letting people believe the things that you believe. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's a matter of
it's a
education.
very.
These are just like concepts people don't really question, because there's a conventional idea of what a word means and what is true, and these are just things we go by.
You're
So
right.
this is very, very technical.
You're right. It is a very. It is.
Exactly.
Rat Ruler is correct. It is a very brainwashy 1984 style environment in the American education system. So I totally understand what she's saying, and it's actually true, although ironically in the opposite way than she's implying. Next,
I actually use he/him pronouns.
I don't care.
None of this man. Do you know about this YouTuber, Soyboy Destroyer? Have you heard of him, Arucard?
No.
I will send you a link.
What is this? I stepped out for a second. What happened?
Well,
I told Arcard that I use he/him pronouns, and he said that he doesn't care.
No. What did you expect, though? Out of curiosity.
Decency.
Oh, Soy Boy Destroyer. I thought you were gonna. I heard someone was gonna send him something. So I love that guy. He's so funny.
Soyboy Destroyer is spot on with some of the stuff. He changed my mind about driver's licenses.
No
he
one
changed
else
my
is
mind.
brave enough to
Wait.
declare the truth about drunk drivers.
Not only do I not
Who's
care.
Ruler?
Not only do I not care. I also don't believe you. But go on.
What?
Okay.
Drunk
Okay.
driver?
You have to believe
That's
us
wonderful.
so that we're right.
That's
So that we are objectively correct, and you are objectively fucking gay.
Arucard, I would
well,
be very happy to debate you on drunk driving or driver's licenses right here on the spot. I'd be very happy to debate you.
That would be funny.
wait. What would which
We'll
which
wait
which
for you
wait
to formulate
which
your thoughts on
which-
proving concepts
wait which
true.
which position would you like me to take in those debates?
Well, I want to know what you believe. Do you believe that drunk driving is good or bad?
Booze cruising. We've been over this.
Definitely bad.
Why do you think?
Oh,
booze
we
drinking is
have a
bad?
problem here.
Of course you're a sober cup.
Look at that. He ridicules his opponent because he has no response.
Really, our card?
I say that
drivers make up.
if I said what I have done right now on this stream, it would be enough to send me to jail when it comes to this topic. But
Are you
Hey,
are
it's
you
okay.
bragging
Our
like
card.
this?
what?
Are you
Like,
a booze cruiser?
Driving before, okay?
Are you an ex-booze cruiser?
Are you a booze cruiser?
I'm an ex-illegal driver.
You're a booze cruiser?
Oh,
Way more
Hey
than
man, I can respect that. We've
I
all
do
been
Well,
respect
not
that.
respect you.
way more than the B word. But yeah, X.
Do you still booze cruise?
I said XXXXX.
oh,
I understand.
that's pretty disappointing then.
So
Because
why?
sober drivers account for some
your
3/4 of all accidents.
Did you know
I
that
was
like
really gonna ask for your autograph.
LOL? No, well, after you hear what I've done, you still will ask for my autograph. But
Have you killed cops before?
much more cool than that.
Silence.
It's not cool to kill cops, but I've done shit
It
that actually was cool. So, but anyway.
No, it's cool to kill cops. I think it's funny.
So if
I love the YouTube algorithm.
Well,
if you oppose drunk driving-
you probably think it's cool to kill cops because you're a fucking loser. But anyway.
Arucard, why do you
That's not very
oppose drunk
nice.
driving?
I'm gonna
Like,
tell
what
my
do you-
mommy.
Okay.
What do you have against drunk driving? or booze cruises. What do you have against?
Why did you stop when sober drivers cause so much damage to our community?
Exactly.
Exactly. Bottom.
If you heard what I've done, you'd understand why I stopped.
Okay, so then tell us what you've done.
Oh,
Did
no.
you run over school children?
No. No, I didn't hurt anyone, but I was lucky I didn't.
If you didn't hurt anyone, where's the
Hi
fun?
guys, I'm back.
We're talking about drunk driving right now. It's a very productive conversation.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I've already been punished by the government for, which was one time when I was many years younger, 18 or 19 or so. I worked for about 12 hours one day, 10 or 12 hours that day, and then I hadn't eaten like most of the day, and then I got like wasted, like 4 beers and some shots of vodka or whatever, and or it was like some shots of vodka and then like a beer or something. Anyway, I was pretty fucked up because I hadn't eaten and I was exhausted, and it was like almost midnight and shit, and little dumbass little me made the decision to drive to McDonald's, and I managed to black out with my foot on the brake in between window 1 and window 2 of McDonald's at about 11:45 at night.
That's so big.
You must have been very tired.
So the next thing I remember, it was waking up in the back of a squad car with mace all over me and handcuffs, very tight handcuffs, and politely asking the officer to explain to me what had happened.
Why would you be polite to a police officer?
Because I respect the police.
Well, they are agents of the state stopping you from booze cruising without consequence. So.
As they should.
No, but they shouldn't, because they're taking
I
away
think we
your
have a
right
bit
to
of a
be
disagreement here.
Yeah, I believe in law and order. I believe in law and order, and you guys are some fucking animals.
I love that TV show. No, shut up. I love that TV show.
I love chaos.
Yep, you're a fucking animal. Yep.
I am an enjoyer of
Nice.
crime.
Just because I like that show Law and Order doesn't mean that I'm an animal. I prefer.
I do hate to say, but when you had described your situation, I can't think of any way in which you did something wrong. You harmed nobody. In fact, you were inside of your car the entire time. So why does that mean you deserve to be in handcuffs?
I could have seriously hurt other people and myself. And I was lucky that I didn't, and at bare minimum, I seriously disrupted the night that
McDonald's drive-through line at 11:30 at night. I don't think you disrupted anything. In fact, the whole argument that you've made is premised on probabilities. There's a probability you might have done something. But you didn't.
Hold on, stop. You do realize there was people both in front of and behind me in line, right?
But did you hurt them?
I probably should. It's a miracle that I didn't hurt them.
Dude, because God loves drunk drivers. It was a miracle. If you were a sober driver, God would have smited you on the spot.
You do know why.
So anyway, the police officer politely explained back to me that they had to mace me, and it took 3 of them to wrestle me out of my car because apparently I unconsciously resisted arrest. So
looks like God is working in mysterious ways against the police.
So
it was a miracle.
Not only am I lucky that I didn't hurt anyone, but I'm very lucky that I didn't get shot by the police, essentially.
Well, that's because you're white.
If you got shot by the police while you were asleep, that only further damns the police for what they've done, right?
Be fair,
arrested you while you were sleeping when you were doing nothing wrong.
Man, free my guy. He did nothing wrong.
Well, I didn't actually. I only technically resisted arrest because what I was doing while I was unconscious was just I was refusing to let go of my steering wheel. So
Well, that doesn't sound problematic at all. What sounds
That doesn't sound problematic at all.
what is
You
going
care
on
about
here?
driving. You care about your safety on the road.
Jesus took the wheel in that instant.
Exactly.
I was
It's like how
literally.
God was like the shepherd of the Hebrews in the desert in the Old Testament, and now in the modern age, in the age of automobiles, God protects the drunk drivers.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Do you understand how, if you were sober, you might not have held on to that steering wheel? You might not have held on to the safety and control of the car.
You're not
Because you
supposed
were
to
drunk,
resist
that's what
arrest, you
happened.
fucking idiot.
Why
Yes,
would
you are. It's written in the Constitution.
Shut up.
Why would you get arrested for resisting arrest? You were literally asleep. If the police
You
do that,
did
that's
nothing
a
wrong. You
problem.
committed no crime.
You guys,
Literally
Guy
did
should
nothing
be
wrong.
you guys are,
Exactly.
you guys are,
He did nothing wrong.
you guys are absolute leftist trash, and you know it.
I don't understand how you can defend the cops who were oppressing you simply for
Exactly.
the criminal act of drunk driving. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Drunk driving is a constitutional right.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It is my pursuit of happiness. I would be less happy if I were
It's
sober,
literally-
therefore it's a constitutional right.
It literally is written in the Constitution. You do realize that. It's like the Second Amendment or some shit.
Fucking
It's at
loser.
least the Fourth Amendment. It's more important than the second. Two is a small number for drunk driving.
Fucking loser.
Why would you call me a loser? You're the one who
Be noted.
Don't- if you don't wanna-
He's the one
Hey,
trying to tell
if
you
you
how to have
can't-
a good time,
If you
right?
don't,
discredit him.
if you don't want the label, don't try to earn it. That's all I gotta say.
The fact of the matter
I'm
is,
proud
the
to be a drunk driver.
state is not very consistent when it comes to drunk driving.
Then
Drinking
wait.
cyanide
So
while driving is
just
thousands
all
of
right.
times more
Yeah,
dangerous.
all right. So just
Please
keep it.
don't
So
criminalize
just
that.
okay. Then just keep it consistent and say you're proud to be a fucking loser too, because that's what you are.
I think that you are a loser because you claim to be good faith. You constantly insult everyone in the voice chat. Every time we present a poignant argument against you, you simply
feel-
laugh off.
Sober
I feel-
driver
I
calling
feel
other
so
people
confident.
Losers?
I feel so
The jokes
comfortable.
write
Very
themselves.
bold.
I
jokes
feel
do write
I feel
themselves.
so comfortable calling you a fucking loser for supporting drunk driving.
Comfortable. Kill yourself.
The YouTube stream.
Man, I'm
Yeah, Scooter, you make a good point. Auricard, consider this. Drinking cyanide, fatal. No laws against it while driving. You can drink cyanide while driving, not in the law
Wait,
books.
actually,
But everyone
it
cares about
is
drunk driving for
actually
some reason.
hey, it is actually illegal to kill yourself. So you're wrong, but
Well, you can have cyanide as a
Drinking
treat.
cyanide is different from attempting suicide.
No,
You
it isn't.
realize that, right?
No.
Auricard, you broke ass bitch. Don't ever speak on drunk driving, you fat hoe. Go worry about trying to pay your fucking bills. I know you don't have a job, so maybe work on your fucking resume. Go walk to your nearest fucking Starbucks for that free Wi-Fi. I know you can't afford paying for internet. And write your little Google Docs application and get our fucking names out of your mouth. Drunk drivers are way more
Triggered.
successful than you'll ever be. We could
Ugh.
eat you up while you can't even eat a real meal. Bitch, all you get is half a cup of soup that they serve to poor people.
cheap, said the little triggered cheap.
Greatest copy pasta.
It should be noted that there's 2 people in this chat right now that are not old enough to drive or possess a license.
That's okay.
Who is that?
Well,
Scooter is 18. You should be able to drive in, like, Kentucky.
I
I'm
already drive. I've driven for over a year.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
drive a 16.
Only Rat
Worry about
Ruler.
dumpster driving
Rat
for your
Ruler, the most violent defender of drunk driving, is not a driver person.
You still can't walk up a flight of stairs without getting your fat ass winded. Stay in your fucking lane, bitch.
cheap, said the triggered cheap.
I've gotten really good at organizing on the road. I've caused several accidents while getting off scot-free, no damage to my car. I know exactly how to play the laws of the road. I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to booze cruising. I know the rules. I do the thinking. I play the game. The
You're-
cards are
Guys, I
mine.
know this might be really weird, but I think Auricard's actually kind of cute when he makes animal noises.
Oh, you have no idea.
For real.
Oh my god, he's blushing?
Oh my god, dude, he is. Man, it's
You guys
okay,
have no
man.
idea.
Okay.
have no
Auricard
idea.
Sama.
Auricard, didn't you say something earlier about driver's licenses? Do you support them? Do you oppose them?
Oh, I think someone else said something about driver's licenses, actually.
It was probably you. I mean, Scuter.
Yeah. Well, I think driver's licenses need dramatic reform or to be dropped entirely, right? And that's what I think.
I don't like driver.
Reform.
I, for one, don't like driver's licenses. I mean, what's next? A license to use my damn toaster?
I'd be cool
Right, we
with
don't need licenses for things we have.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
I'd be
You're
cool.
already
I've been killed
on a
more times
car.
by a toaster than a car, so
I'd be cool with
I
reform,
figured-
but I do believe in the institution of licensing.
Why?
Well,
Did you know that most license-related suspensions have nothing to do with behavior on the road? 92% of license suspensions have nothing to do with driver behavior on the road. And that comes directly from a study out of New Jersey conducted by Brown University graduates.
yeah, it still keeps riffraff. It still keeps riffraff off the road, which reduces deaths. So I'm in favor of that.
There's no proof of that whatsoever. There's been multiple studies on the impact of driving tests, which
You
leads
sound
to
like
driver's
you sound like the people who say there's no proof that the death penalty deters crime. It's fucking bullshit. It's retarded.
Okay,
You have no evidence.
So
Murder
I would
is
contend
murder
that the
punishable
state
by
of
the
New
death
Hampshire has
penalty.
given me a license, and they are stupid for doing that, and this is why there should be no licenses, because it's not a good qualifier for ability.
There's absolutely no proof that the driver's test is actually functional. It actually makes a difference. You have illegal immigrants in California, and they did a study on this too, I'll tell you that. They have illegal immigrants in California who are driving around without licenses. They gave them the opportunity to get a driver's license. Nothing changed in crash rates. Nothing whatsoever. That means
Yeah.
that if these illegal immigrants have a license, it doesn't make a difference. The driver's licenses don't mean anything here. It's a matter of age and experience. Are you experienced with a car? You're not going to get in an accident.
You're not
Do you
appreciating.
have no
You're not
experience?
appreciating.
Whoa.
You're not
Let's
appreciating.
not be ageist here.
You're not appreciating how many people that don't currently drive because they're not willing to contravene the will of the police in order to do so would otherwise be on the roads if there were no such laws.
Actually, to the contrary, many unlicensed drivers drive at night, or they'll drive outside of rush hour, or in areas where the police do not reside.
You're not.
These people
You're
have
not
to drive
engaging.
in America.
You're simply not.
America is
You're
largely
simply
a
not
place you get
engaging.
around by car.
Simply not engaging with what I just said to you.
I'm actually debunking everything that you've just said, and you simply want to ignore it by
No,
saying that
you
I'm not
didn't.
engaging.
You didn't engage
Another
with
bad
what I. You
faith
didn't.
tomfoolery by our Carl the
You
Mortal.
didn't engage with what
Yes.
I said to you whatsoever.
That's not true. I
Yeah.
disagree with you.
Okay,
You're wrong.
you're wrong.
I disagree.
I'm
I think you're
objectively
wrong.
observing the brain signals, and I can show you that they're wrong, objectively.
That's
I know they're wrong.
You just have to say about you
Licenses.
little bitch. How do you know I've been
That's
through
cute.
since 8th grade, and I've been involved in
Goodbye.
and I have over 300 unconfirmed kills. I'm training.
You alright?
You're nothing to me, but just another sober cuck.
I agree.
I've never seen
Super
before
cuck.
on this earth. Mark my fucking words. You think you can get away with saying that shit to me over the internet? Think again, fucker. As we speak, I am contacting my secret network of drunk drivers across the U.S.
Who made this post? Was that you, Scuter?
No, I didn't, but it was a really good one nonetheless.
It's a great post.
Is it
Hello.
like from Reddit or some shit? There's definitely one of these things on Reddit for drunk drivers. I know it.
Tesla collection, and I will use it to its full extent to wipe your miserable laugh off the face of this continent, you little shit. If only you would have known what unholy retribution your little clever comment was about to bring down upon you, maybe you would have held your fucking tongue.
LOL.
And now you're paying the price, you goddamn idiot. I will shit fury all over you, and you will drown in it. You're fucking dead, kiddo.
LOL.
Thank you. That was an LOL silence is silver moment.
Silence is silver.
Well,
Yeah.
it's more like golden.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, guys.
I
Later, loser. Fuck off.
All around.
is calling someone loser objective? Is that a thing?
I mean, it
Or insults objectively true?
some of them are.
don't understand why people defend seatbelts when buses and motorbikes and bicycles don't even have them.
To be honest, the drunk driver topic is way more funny to me than like trying to pick apart Arucard's brain for like what a truth is.
Yeah, I agree.
Would much rather debate about seatbelts because the answer is so clear here.
Seatbelts are like, we didn't have seatbelts for decades, by the way, but then the government mandated them, and, you know, that's where really all went downhill. More government repression, more government mandates.
I thought it was a good idea to tightly affix you to a car when it's crashing. That's smart.
It's so that you don't fly out of the fucking windshield or bounce around inside the car and kill your friends, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, but you should go out of the windshield because you'll be out of the distance of the crashing vehicle. No, it's better to be out of the car than in the car.
No, actually,
the fact of the matter is that
you'll fucking smear. You'll be a smear on the fucking ground.
Defend that point anymore.
My skull is pretty durable.
Okay.
Yeah.
After you get
Don't even say anymore that seatbelts reduce accidents.
Hit me up again. Hit me up again with that hypothesis after you get shitted out of your front windshield at 60 miles an hour. Okay, bro?
Wow, I think you sound angry.
I've done that before. It's fun.
I don't believe you.
Quite frankly, I don't understand how you think that a flimsy piece of leather is going to keep me in my car. If it is, then it's going to cause me internal bruising, which is even worse for me. How does that make sense?
No, breaking a couple ribs or getting some internal bleeding, definitely not worse than being a smear on the side of the road. Sorry.
Wow, man, like it makes any difference. You're dead either way.
No, you're not dead either way. That's the whole fucking point.
That's probably the greatest booze cruising argument I've ever heard.
Honestly, yeah.
People have a right to die, therefore seatbelts are bad.
People have a right to die, therefore every law you can think of is illogical. That's the argument you're making.
Every law on the planet is very restrictive, including the ones regarding cars specifically.
Right.
You know why the government targets cars in particular? It's because that's our only way to get around in America. It's our only reasonable way.
I'm just a poor.
Cars make America great.
I'm just a poor.
It's just not going to work.
Fuck you! I'm just a poor, sane American patriot talking to some loser leftist trash. That's all that's happening right now.
I'm patriotic. I believe in the Constitution, which includes my right not to wear a seatbelt.
Fuck you.
Obviously, and this hasn't been brought up, we obviously know this is all a globalist plot to stop us from having any fun. Or rather, that's all it is. Right? It's those global. They don't want us drinking. They don't want us not wearing a seatbelt. They hate Americans.
I've heard that you have to wear a helmet on a motorcycle until you're at least 21, and even then they try and force it down your throats. If you're on a bicycle, it's even worse. You're legally required to wear a helmet no matter what.
You should be legally. You should be
so slowly.
You should be legally. You should be legally required to wear Batman armor if you want to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, that sounds like something.
You should also be required to talk in the Batman voice.
Yes, based.
Wow, sounds like Arucard just worked with some bad takes today. Wow. Arucard, why won't you debate with us in good faith?
Oh, that's only possible one-on-one since you guys are such fucking leftist trash and you refuse to deal with me in good faith.
We are engaging you in good faith for the entire discussion. I don't see why you have to insult us the entire time. We're being perfectly
situational.
It's never good faith to jump in the middle of my interaction with someone else. Get it?
You've been interacting with us for the entire time. I don't see a problem here.
No. So, anytime you don't wait for my interaction with any single one of you to completely finish before jumping in, that's bad faith.
I'm going to interrupt you right there and say that sounds like a bunch of sober cuck logic that I don't really care about, man.
Okay, fuck you too, loser.
You know,
I feel like that's probably worse faith.
What's worse faith than what?
You know, Alucard, I always interact with your wife in very good faith.
LOL.
Yeah, Dage is pretty cool.
Say what?
I do not mean to act in bad faith. I just like to point out the fact that I provided a helpful infographic in the Hall of Power channel to demonstrate the fatal logic of seatbelts.
Thank you.
LOL. Memes are not considered bad faith.
No, they're not. But calling someone a loser probably is. Especially when you can't, explain your point.
Oh, to be clear, memes absolutely can be bad faith, but just in this case, this one isn't.
Yeah, this one is something I definitely believe. Enormous, even.
Oh wait, but you don't think?
Right.
But you
My
don't think?
state doesn't
Wait,
have
but
laws,
so
it's
you
fine.
don't wait? Do you think I didn't believe it when I called you guys fucking losers?
Wow, I think somebody is coping. Uh-oh.
No, wait. I'm seriously asking you that question though.
They don't know that alcohol is not haram. It's halal.
So you don't. So you're afraid to answer. Got it. Okay.
No, I'm convinced you actually think we believe in booze cruising, and that's why you're calling us losers. I buy that.
This is Bob. He drinks and drives. This is Sally. Sally's Bob's friend, but does not drink and drive. Bob and Sally are still friends because they are both adults. Be like Bob and Sally.
So true. I love this.
Yeah. Oh, I can absolutely be friends with people I consider fucking losers. Why do you think I'm talking to you right now?
Are you friends with a whole of losers?
Alucard is besties with me.
What?
Funny men are my personal friends for real.
Alucard, would you describe your social relations as being with a bunch of losers?
I do seek them out because it completes. It balances me out nicely. It creates a nice non-echo chamber.
I appreciate it.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
No one knows who that is, Jackie. It's probably from some bougie show that you watch. I think you're lying, because that's objectively false.
I have what's-his-face muted, so...
Oh, I guess you're right, man. You really got him there. So, what do you think of the sort of conflict between cyanide drivers and drunk drivers? How should we parse that out, Alucard?
Airtight talking point.
Say what?
So, cyanide drivers and drunk drivers... Exactly. That's exactly spot on. The silence is deafening, Alucard. Why don't you have anything to say about this?
Anything to say about what?
The thing that we just told you about multiple times. So, what should we do
was that?
when it comes to cyanide drivers being perfectly legal on the road, of drunk drivers being banned completely?
Oh, you just...
What should we do?
That's just not true. Next.
Cyanide drivers, what do you mean stuff?
First of all, that's driving under the influence, and second of all, it's illegal to kill yourself. It's illegal 2 ways.
Cyanide driving is not drinking under the influence. The fact of the matter is, drunk driving laws specify a blood alcohol content of 0.08. However, this does not apply to cyanide driving, as cyanide can never reach the high concentration in the blood without outright
You do understand that alcohol is not the only way to drive under the influence, right?
Of course. However, cyanide is not the same, so therefore it doesn't matter.
Cyanide is not, I don't think, listed on any government's policy for, amount you can have in your body.
It is a performance-affecting drug, and therefore it's illegal to drive under the influence of it.
Look,
I don't think it affects your performance. I just think it fucking kills you. I don't think that's the same.
So wait, so you don't think your driving performance is affected by being alive or being dead?
I think it does. I think it's probably good to draw a distinction between those things, and I don't think the law does that. It's just driving under the influence. Doesn't matter if it's a dead corpse or whatever, you know? I just don't see it in the law books.
The law is predicated. The law is predicated upon the principle of common sense, which you are intentionally not using. Next.
I think the law needs to be more specific if they want me to buy that. I don't know, dude.
Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Next.
There's a lot of things that could disturb your driving that the law doesn't care about, and I think the fact that alcohol is targeted specifically is very unfortunate and discriminatory, to add.
Oh, well, good thing discrimination is good. What else you got?
Yeah.
It's simply put to target booze cruisers. It's not fair, man. They're just not. They're out to get us.
The law says nothing about what if I'm distracted by the voices in my head, right? And if I get in an accident, it's not always my fault, even if the voices in my head were distracting me the whole time. I don't see how the law is.
I would ask you if you believe that you're asking me a question in good faith right now, but I'm convinced that you're such a bad faith individual that you wouldn't even give me an honest answer to the question. So
I think that's a very convenient way to dodge everything that we've been asking you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
For real.
Well, I pity you. I pity you that belief.
That's great. Can you answer?
Answer what specifically?
The proposition about discrimination against drunk drivers.
It's a retarded fucking question. Of course I can answer it. Ask it again.
Do you think that there is discrimination against drunk drivers, especially when we compare them to cyanide drivers, snoozers, as well as the voices in my head which keep telling me to get in a car crash?
Sorry, what the fuck are you trying to ask me?
So, I'm trying to ask you, do you think that there is discrimination against drunk drivers, especially when you consider cyanide drivers, snoozers, and the voices in my head telling me to get in a car crash?
Oh yeah, for sure there's discrimination against them, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you think that discrimination is bad against drunk drivers?
No, I just told you I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think that's where the problem lies. You have no problem with the drunk drivers being unfairly discriminated against.
Oh, it's not unfair. No, of course it's not unfair. If it was unfair, I would be in favor of changing it.
Do you think it's fair that the government targets drunk drivers but not cyanide drivers? Or
I don't agree with you that the government doesn't target cyanide drivers.
Well, I've proven you wrong there.
Oh, no, you haven't. You've proven yourself wrong.
I've proven you wrong, and you just don't want to admit it. You have to work within the parameters of truth.
You've actually proven yourself wrong, and you either can't see it or you're lying about it. But either way, we're gonna move on.
I have not proven myself wrong. You have to accept the parameters of the debate. You have to accept what is truth and what is not truth, and you have to move on with the facts of the matter.
I see no invalid argument. Scooter has pointed out many instances of things disturbing driving that the government just doesn't care about. They're just out to get booze cruisers specifically. It seems to be the case. And I don't see a good, valid argument against that.
Yeah. That I've already completely annihilated the baby almost arguments that you basically dishonestly put forward. I still don't believe that you guys believe anything you're fucking saying right now.
Would you like to repeat your rebuttals?
Excuse me?
Would you like to repeat your rebuttals?
Yeah, if you ask questions in a way that's answerable, I will, yes.
So, do you think that the government discriminates against, say, snoozers?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you think that the government discriminates against people who are driving who are also snoozers? They sleep on the wheel.
Yes, thank God the government discriminates against those people, yes.
Do you have any proof of this?
Yes, we arrest those people.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
But,
If a cop sees you sleeping behind the wheel of your car, he will pull you over and arrest you.
The cop can't see you because your window is tinted. Try again.
No.
Yeah, there's no breathalyzer for sleep, dude. It's not the same.
No. You can still see it, and it doesn't. You don't have to. They don't have to visually. They don't have to visually. They don't even have to visually confirm whether you were sleeping or not. You swerve, and then that's bad enough.
Well, then they're not discriminating based on whether or not you're asleep. They're discriminating based on whether or not you're swerving on the road. That's very different, and it also disproves everything that you've been building up to.
No, it doesn't. Not in any way whatsoever.
Yes, it does.
No.
If you don't even...
You're just wrong about that.
If the police officer is judging based on...
It doesn't matter.
My apologies.
It doesn't matter what they use to ascertain whether you're doing something or not. It's completely irrelevant whether they can or can't. You have to assume that they can for the sake of the hypothetical.
If you are swerving on the road and the police sees that,
No.
the police judges based on you swerving on the road. But they don't know a thing about whether or not you're asleep. So therefore, your point is
you have to assume that the police can magically see into your car and objectively know whether you're sleeping or not.
Well, the facts of the matter is that they don't know whether or not you're sleeping, which means that they don't discriminate based on that.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they can see. So actually, they do know.
So do the police sometimes indeed and objectively know whether or not you're sleeping?
Of course they do.
Or would you like to walk back the claim?
No.
Okay, so...
Of course.
What if I'm just resting my eyes?
If I'm swerving on the road, do you think that the police see that?
It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal to close your eyes behind the wheel of a car for any reason.
What if I blink?
That's not closing your eyes. That's blinking.
What if I blink? If I blink, I close my eyes. Do you think that's illegal? Can you point me to the specific law that proves you wrong?
Blinking is not closing your eyes. That's a different thing.
Yes, it is.
How long do you have to hold your eyes closed for it to be closing your eyes and not blinking?
Long enough for a cop to notice.
Cop can't see anything behind a tinted window, especially not at night. Try again.
Oh, well, that's not the case.
Next.
So that's not the case, though.
That's not true. Do you know how small your eyes are relative to the rest of your body?
What if
you
the cop is blind?
That's completely irrelevant.
The cop can't see for how long you close your eyes. The cop probably can't see distinct features of your face at all.
The cop's probably behind you.
Not only is that not necessarily true, it's completely irrelevant.
Why is it irrelevant that the cop can or cannot see whether or not you are driving with your eyes closed?
Because the law is the law, regardless of whether the cop catches you breaking the law or not.
That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what you just said. However, I'm right, and you just got debunked again. So it's really that simple.
I feel sad. I feel sorry for you. I feel very.
That's really great, Arcard, that you can't realize your own failure, but drunk driving is objectively God's will.
I genuinely feel a bottomless well of pity for you from the depths of my heart.
You feel pity because you cannot make an argument. It's simple as that.
Simple as one might say.
I feel pity for you that you believe the things that you just said about me.
You said earlier that you don't think we believe any of this. That's weird, Ricardo, isn't it?
Well, of course you don't believe anything that you're saying. You don't believe in belief. You're a complete loser.
I believe in God, and God has bestowed his blessed will upon drunk drivers, and that's it. Simple as.
Okay. Fuck you too.
That was very polite and good faith of you, Arcard. I have done nothing but give you excellent, superb, undefeatable, and objective arguments in favor of drunk driving, and I have received nothing but discrimination, may I say, for my stance as a defender of the noble drunk drivers. It's very disappointing for an immortal man such as yourself.
You're an entirely unserious person, and you can fuck off now.
I believe in the things that I believe in. It's really...
If I believe I don't believe, is that a belief, and therefore my belief and non-belief is wrong? This is deep. It's also 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's okay. We can keep on going. Arucard, you haven't actually rebutted the point. Now, we can talk about another group of drivers, right? We can talk about the cyanide drivers. And we talked about that earlier, but you had no valid points to bring up there. So, how can the police tell that you are on cyanide versus on some other performance-inducing drug? As you said earlier, performance-influencing. Excuse me.
Sorry, repeat your question.
So we can go back to cyanide drivers. How can the police tell the difference between alcohol drivers and cyanide drivers? Or, for that matter,
that's irrelevant. That's completely irrelevant. Doesn't matter at all.
That's not true, because the fact of the matter is that the police discriminate specifically against alcohol drivers and not any other group.
What? It doesn't matter. The police are irrelevant to this question.
The views are perfectly relevant, you just don't choose to accept them because you subconsciously know it to be true, but you don't want to act like it.
A conversation about what is moral about the law does not include a consideration of how the police go about enforcing that law. That's a separate question.
I think that the police enforce the law in a discriminatory way, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the morality of the law. I think it is immoral that the police discriminate against drunk drivers, though, but the law is different from the police enforcing that law. So ultimately what you just said doesn't matter.
No. So what you're saying is you do think that the law is wrong, but you don't care about that because you think, more importantly, the police unfairly enforce the law, even though you don't believe in the law itself. That actually makes no internal no, it is not. What you just said to me is not internally consistent in any fucking way.
Yes, it is. You're wrong.
No, you're actually gaslighting me right now.
That's not true.
It's objectively true.
Dude, that's so weird. Why would you say this, man? I'm just being honest to myself, being true to myself, and you're gaslighting me over it.
I don't believe you.
What's that all about, Ricard?
I do not believe you. Convince me that you're telling me the truth.
Oh, Ricard, you at one point were a drunk driver. You'd be able to relate to this at a personal level.
Relate to what?
To what we are saying in this conversation.
Which is what?
Have you been listening to the conversation, dude? You got this, you got this. You got this. But you just need to understand where we're coming from when it comes to drunk driving.
I understand where you're coming from. You're either lying to me in order to gaslight me, or you're coming from the position of a fucking loser piece of trash.
Everybody is coming here in good faith except for you, Ricard. We are all being honest.
That is the opposite of true.
God bless us in our mission here.
Everyone here except me. Everyone here except me. Everyone here except me showed up in bad faith.
That's not true. The exact opposite is true.
No, you're wrong. You're actually projecting that onto me. Sweet, sweet silence.
Sorry, drunk driving is based here for flat and here for epic.
What? What'd you say?
Smart man indeed. Ricard, can we please know who you have muted in this voice chat so we know who you were talking to?
Oh, he's
smart man. You can hear me though. Thank you for that.
The only person that I don't have muted is Scuter at the moment.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You're barely welcome.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. Yeah. I do kind of want to wrap it up. It is 2 a.m.
Yeah, we're literally on 1 hour and 59 minutes in right now, so I'd be totally cool to just cut it here at the 2 hour mark and pick up again whenever we're all feeling more energetic or whatever.
Yeah, I am pretty tired. But
Yeah.
hey,
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
so, yeah, everybody else do that too. Yeah. I do want to say I really like the song Mamba Number I played earlier. Some people didn't agree with it. So here we go.
You really liked the what?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
this is Mambo number 5.
And on that note, that's enough of Discord for this stream. I promise you, my fellow mortals, the quality of my conversation partners will increase in the future, even if it's these people again. Until next time, peace be with you.